All right. I very seldomly have returning guests. Actually, all my guests are returning guests. Usually, I make sure they're of the highest quality. Today, I make an exception because of their anti-Blade comments on social media. But after a lot of talking and a lot of, brainstorming and love of Kamen Rider at Power Morphicon, I've already talked about on my previous podcast episode. I got to meet my guest in person. It's K20 Customs, patchmaker extraordinaire, lover of all things Stacy. How's it going?
Hold
Need a
on.
moment?
I felt those words of Stacy. I just tingled. Um, hello there, people. It's the one, the only K20 Customs, the great one, the man with the throne that he built himself. Because nobody will actually give me a throne. Um, yeah. That's mostly I can give as a title.
You should make a throne made out of patches.
Just all the patches I made. Just
Like
all
instead of using a 3D printer to make all the pieces, you're literally making all the pieces out of patches.
be more. It'll just be helmets, different
Just,
helmets of.
yeah, dude, that'd be a sick throne, actually. Yeah, so like I said, we got to meet up at Power Morphicon. So obviously, before we get into conventions and all the counter, Wave 3 of your patches has dropped.
Yes. Wave three. I am
Would
really proud of this one.
I am as well. Because I was like, ooh, you're getting into like the first two waves for your common ones, you hit like the key, like popular ones that were, the staples. But then you finally went for the real king of Common Rider.
Yes,
And
Camarada Shin.
and
I
I was
finally,
gonna say,
we
and,
finally brought Shin in. Yes.
and you are dabbling more into Ultraman stuff. So you want to go over what's in wave 3 of your patches.
Wave three, Camarada in. I had to change the name to like Toku patches to because I knew I was getting more into the world of Tokusatsu. So when coming together with this one, I had to dive deep into the like the mindset of people like my man Vaughn. Yeah, that's one of the people I had to ask for Ultraman.
For those
I
who are
had
wondering, that's Mr. Cooper Vaughn
Mr. Cool.
on social media. Great
Yes.
guy. Good person to go to for Ultraman. Besides, I don't know myself, but you know,
Simon, I have to come to you to see what 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 writer you probably want for wave five.
I
Cause
I always I always joke when it comes to Ultraman stuff because I always say merch standpoints. I got a lot of Kamen Rider stuff, but from a Toku love standpoint, I love Ultraman more than Kamen Rider. But does it have, like, let's face it, all the transformation devices for Ultraman, they don't display well, and most of the time it's like cards or little things, and I'm like, I get the Blu-rays and I'll get some of the SH figure arts. I can't do the gimmick stuff because they're tiny.
true. I
But
wish I
yeah, no.
would have. I wish I would have gotten into more of Ultraman. So this is me introducing myself to Ultraman myself. Like I knew of Ultraman but never watched. So make that clear to people. I know of Ultraman, just never watched.
I get that so much when I talk to people about like Toku stuff. They're just like, "Oh yeah, no, I know of Ultraman. I've heard of Ultraman." Like, well,
Yeah.
out of all the Toku, Ultraman's the easiest one to actually have in the U.S. Mill Creek literally has
It's
70% of the library on Blu-ray and DVD.
already
We,
been in America so many times that a lot of people don't even
yeah,
know. Like there's a lot of um uh Godzilla stuff that you don't know that Ultraman's been in.
yeah. A
Um
lot of the repurposed monster suits Subaraya
yeah.
got from Toho, and like then when you go to things like Red Man, which is also another,
Uh,
kind of ultra hero that Subaraya did, they used a lot of like Godzilla from a kaiju Ultraman Red Man. Like,
yeah, they're we use a lot. It's just that the only one that succeeded was sadly enough Godzilla for right
yeah,
now.
for
Until we get for right now, keyword
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But besides that, wave three, um, Kamen wise, I had to think this through. So automatic when Geeks came out, that helmet automatically was like, look, I'm gonna take a break and I'm bringing him into
Yeah.
this. I want to see how this goes. That did well. The design itself was amazing. Then we had to go back to a lot of them that we didn't touch that a lot of people asked for, like um, Kabuto, um, Kabuto, Agato, Shin, because a lot of people did ask for Shin.
And it's
I
good timing with the Shin Kamen Rider coming out next year. So
Yeah, I did when I was doing it. I didn't think a lot of people will ask for it when they see it, but a lot of people was like, "Oh man, that looks amazing." I was like, "Oh wow," because it was just like people were just like, "Oh, I want to see Shen," but then I bring it out. It's like I got the feedback that the same thing that when I said, "Oh, Shin would be a great patch," to now see people like, "Yes, Shin,
yeah,
come around to Shin." And
I
then
will
I think,
say I don't like Shin Kamen Rider at all. I have been very vocal. That movie is messed up. I don't like it. It's entertaining. I don't like the organic style of Shin and is that, but I will say that patch was clean. I was like the greens, the shade. I was like that
I
came out
I use
good.
good. When I saw my the green I have right here, I was just like, oh wow, this actually is a it's like a dark green, but like if you hit the light on it, it's a little lighter, and it works when you make it to
Yeah,
a patch. And I used to use it for a lot. Now finally found something I can actually use it for. Now I have to buy a big one.
yeah. I was
But
looking at. I was like, I don't. I'm not good with like naming colors, so I just call it the Swamp Thing green
yes,
because that's what
yes,
it reminds me of. I was like
best
that's
best to
Swamp Thing.
describe, best way to describe it.
Yeah, but that definitely came out really good, and I was like, man, I was like, that one, that one's gonna sell really well, especially with Shin Kamen Rider coming out, even though it's not the same
Yeah.
Shin Kamen Rider. But I was like,
No. I think I and then another like fan voted one would be Black and Black RX.
mm,
Everybody loves Black in every
it's true.
way. Just to throw that out,
Yeah,
in every
I
way.
was, this light doesn't help the melanin, but I can bring the birth certificate out. That a lot of people ask me if it's true. When I tell them, I was like, listen, I'm black, and they're like, and I'm like, my mom is black and Native American. I was like, look at the photos, and they're like, wow. I'm like, yeah. They're like, why are you so like pale? I'm like, I'm not pale. I'm tan.
Just light skin, light
Yeah.
skin.
I was like, you ever learn how to paint in school and like you get like the black or the dark brown paint and you add white to it, it lights up. That's what happens. It's diluted.
I'm still
Yeah.
the coach is still there.
Yeah. I was like, it's still there. Like, don't worry about it. But you're not wrong.
Um,
Uh, I was. I'm curious because you are doing Black and Black RX, and obviously we know RXs that was used for Masked Rider in the United States. Um, the design for the Amazon remake for Black Sun, the way those designs are because I haven't really seen any more of outside of Wave 3, some of your current stuff. Are you going to try and tackle the Black Sun designs?
um, I've been thinking of a lot of those ideas. Like, oh man, trying to branch out to like certain
Yeah,
things. So I didn't really think of like going back into like how main writers again,
yeah,
because I think I touched too many main writers that I
yeah.
didn't get to like secondary, third. Some series has four, and many
Some
more.
have 12 and
Yeah,
13. You're
so
going to
I want to
Saber and Ryuki. Got a bit.
yeah. So I want to touch some of those writers that don't get much love, but there's a little small group of people that like those writers. So I'm probably gonna be doing those first.
Yeah.
That's why when I was talking to you just now, you was like, the next wave I could do some other Ultraman. I was like, yeah, wave five, because in my head, wave four, I'm thinking of doing women writers.
Ah,
Just focusing on just women writers, because somebody hit me up on my comment. I was like, oh
yeah.
yeah, these are the next wave, and somebody was like, oh yeah, we're your women writers. So I was like, you're right. Well, I know certain women writers, but I don't know all of them,
Yeah. And
and it would be nice to break
that would
out.
that'd be good too because there are, especially with Toei recently showcasing more of the female writers with
Yeah,
like their side stories like the Aguilera and Sakura one, and then everything else they've done, even with like the Ghost and Saber crossover, bringing Canon back over and this and that. I was like, they're showcasing a lot of the females again, and I was like,
That's
that
deep.
that is a good wave to do, and you have a lot of options. You got Poppy,
Yeah.
you got freaking Sabella, Sakura, Aguilera. You got a lot.
But what they really want is just another ghost character that can glow in the dark. That's
I
what they
saw.
want.
Hmm.
That's what they really
I
want,
saw,
guys.
and by they he means me.
Alright. We got Spectre now, and who I shout out to Kaju Call because he the one that was like, why not Spectre? And I was like, Spectre, really? Because it was Spectre or Birth, and I'm
Ooh,
close to Birth. I'm not gonna lie to y'all guys. I'm more close to Birth because I like um Camarada. If he was not listening,
I
I like
I
oh.
love Birth so much, and yet I'm not the biggest fan of since a
So
season.
like that's why I was like, man, oh,
You put you right there.
but I in my head came to the mindset of like these these things glowing in the dark will be fire. And somebody
Yeah,
else in this nice place right now talking to me also was like, hey, are you gonna be having stuff glowing in the dark? And then, first one to try, Spectre. And then
like when I saw your 01 glow in the dark patch, I was like, that's it. That is because like I and it that since the last time you were on the show, things have not changed. There's a lot of people stepping up in the Toku like merch business. I don't really know. I don't really want to say merch business, but creative
they
monetization, selling stuff. And you're still the only one doing patches. We have people who do pins, stickers, shirts, stuff like that. But I'm like, no one else is doing patches, so you're still the foundation of that. But then even though you don't have any patch competition, you're still going to the next level because now you're like glow in the dark. And like when I saw 01, I was like, oh, what else? I remember when you told me, like, yeah, I'm just testing the glow in the dark and it works for this. There's other colors. Like, I remember when you did the ghost one, you weren't too happy with how it glowed at first with that thread. You're like, and I'm like, man, I was like, what kind of thread do they have glow in the dark? I was like, man, there's a lot of good. And then you did the Power Ranger ones. I think it was what was it in space you did with and I was like,
I think that was the one when I felt more comfortable when I test those out, and I'm like, it was that and what's the villain? I forgot his name from In Space.
I was it. Oh, what was his name? He was the one with the green. Yeah, Eclipser.
So
Yeah,
he glows. I had that version when he glows in the dark also. And
yeah.
that one was the one I did first before I did Mecha Angels, and that came out too good. And I sat in my room and I was sitting here like, this is good. Like this is money right here. It's
Nothing else could live up to this now.
yeah.
Like it has to be this good.
And then it's just like from there I so let's go back to the 01
Yeah,
first. So the idea with the 01 was there was a promo scene for 01 that popped up on my Twitter where the camera zooms into him and he's like glowing
yep.
in the dark.
In the front. Yeah, that was. Was it that? I think that was like the clip they played after when the OP was about to end, or right before the OP started, or it was like the closing outro.
I don't remember.
I
I
remember
had,
because
and that's how I learned that his eyes also glows, like the
yeah,
eyes and the top part of his like
yeah.
the ring parts. And I was like, oh, so I'm not done yet. So,
You're like,
so now
this is only like a third of the way done.
So that's how the idea of the not just the face glowing, the eyes glows. I have to make that to glow in the dark. So now, um, the main things for like the writers is that the visors all glow. Like I will work my butt off to make sure that even if I test them out, that's the idea of them all glowing in the dark, one way or another. Um,
Yeah, that's so full transparency because I'm finally placing an order with you mainly because I'm so indecisive and I'm like I just want all the patches and I'm like man, but I got pay bills.
Yeah,
And I was like, I got rent, and I was like, and I got CSMs that I pre-ordered by mistake, and by mistake I mean, no, my wife doesn't even listen to my podcast, so I was like, I got CSMs, I got that Kuga sword freaking pre-order. I was like, I got things I got. I was like, my credit cards are at the limit, and I was like, but I was like the older time, I was like, man, the glow in the darks because I'm doing, we talked about I'm gonna do like I already got the jeans. I have like the torn like grunge style, putting patches on them, and I was like, man, I'll put like 8 or 9 patches. And I started measuring, and I was like, oh, this, and I was like, man, I want to save the glow in the dark ones for like a hat or like a vest or something, or like my work bag. And I'm like, the glow in the dark ones just they're, especially now you're saying you're doing my research, you want to do like the visors and everything else. I'm like, man, I'm just thinking like all the different cover riders that have like those nice colors that would look insane. Like I saw on Instagram, you did the little light over the Spectre one, and I was like, ooh, I was like, I didn't even know you were working on a glow in the dark Spectre. I remember when you told me you were doing Spectre, I didn't know there was going to be a glow in the dark one. I was like, and then I was like, well, that blue. I was like, what else colors does he have that glow in the dark? And I was like, man, he's gonna be making some interesting glow in the dark patches because
I think
I
I think Ghost is the best one to test them out on.
yeah,
Well,
there's detail in the helmets, but it's like there's more solid blocks of the color for you to test it on.
yeah,
Say with 01 to an extent, but like
yeah,
when you go into
zero
like
one. That I didn't know that was gonna pop up like
dude,
that.
that I was that the fact that that neon green on that glow in the dark came out so good.
Yeah,
Like I was like,
yeah.
damn,
That one get used for a lot of stuff. That Neo Green goes for Mecha Ninja, expect
dude, so many.
etc. 01. Who else? Yeah, just those. And then
Yeah,
next is gonna be Forze. What are the ideas I'm gonna do for Forze?
great season, great
Yeah,
season.
I'm on episode 30 right now.
As much as I always preach how good Blade is, dude, Forza and Ghost are like tied for me with Blade, and like Kiva's up there too. But Ghost and like, and it's funny. I always like the shows that weren't popular when they were airing, but I'm happy you're doing Forza though, especially the timing if you're working on stuff like that because a lot of shows have anniversaries coming up.
Yeah, I think Forza is next.
Yeah,
No,
Forza
Drive.
Drive.
No, Drive was last year.
Yeah.
Or yeah, Drive was last year, so it's Forza now. Should be Forza.
So I have to ask a very important question because I see two machines now. I see some upgrades.
Is it two? Oh, what?
Yeah, I
This
see.
this.
I
Oh
see.
my god.
So I was I remember when you because we joke about Blade, being bad, just like I joke about Gaim being bad. People have started to take that too seriously. And by the way, anyone watching this, don't send me death threats on Twitter for talking shit about Gaim. That is stupid. And I'm the type where I always say, if you wanna find out, like I say when I'm at conventions, like I'll go rent a boxing ring. We can go 3 rounds. Like literally someone because I did my Henshin video and I threw the Gaim driver. Someone literally said, "Oh, if I do where you lived, I'd hurt you." And I'm like, "Come on now, like,
Look, we say these things
yeah,
not to come at y'all,
no,
but to come at our friendship.
yeah."
Okay, we don't come
So
at y'all. We don't know y'all, but the
no,
people that we
yeah,
know that loves these series,
yeah,
we like talking shit about them.
yeah. That's why I'll troll for build all day because I know you like build.
Bill's good,
Yeah,
great
it's all
God
right.
tier.
It's all right. I wish it was
Bill's
less.
is
I wish if the season was half the amount of episodes it was, it would be better.
look.
But no, so you made some comments, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start M10 Customs, my own patch, company. And I even sent you photos of my Amazon cart with these sewing machines. But I was looking at actual sewing machines because like I was really curious about. I'm not gonna buy one. I'm not gonna, that's your lane. I can't like just
Look,
because that's too much work for me. But I was looking at the machines and I didn't realize how much you could do with these things. So I know you got another machine. Are you like gonna put you on the spot? Are you thinking larger size patches yet?
I have already done some larger
No,
patches. A
no,
lot of
no.
people.
I don't think you understand what I'm implying. So paint you a visual sleeveless jean jacket, the whole back one patch, like one big ass helmet. I'm talking
Oh, you mean like
16-inch patch.
a big patches?
Yeah,
So Oh, I don't
I,
know.
I don't know
Whoa.
why. Like when I was looking at the machines, I was like, well, he's making the patches, but what if he did like a limited run thing where he's like, oh, like you have the dad hats, which you know those look cool. I
Sold out.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why they sold out. But
I
I
have
was
to
just
order
like,
some new
but I
hats.
was like, but what if you were like, hey, now you can get like this vest or this jacket with a patch on it, and it's just like, I don't know why. I just think like anytime I see like jeans, people put patches, small ones on the front, and I'm like, I see the back, and it's always some either a big square or a big patch always on the back of these because I go to a lot of like rock concerts and this and that, and that's what I see a lot of it. I'm like, man, I was like, a big patch, but I was like, baby steps. I was like, but I was like looking at the sheets, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize how intricate and how much work goes into actually making. Because last time we talked, I was like, oh yeah, what's the process that? And then I watch your streams. By the way, K20 Customs on Twitch. You stream making your patches. They're fudge streams. There's karaoke involved with elements in round zero. Um, and
Huh?
Excite, the greatest OP ever for a season that was mid.
I just want to say I sung that with no lyrics.
I know.
Fully. I can't believe I knew the song by heart.
Yeah.
I have to now take that song off my list because I know it too well, and now I have to delete it and learn a new song.
I
I
always
was
forget the
thinking of
name. The
01.
Fies one is good too, but I always forget the name of it.
Just
Justifies, yeah.
yeah.
Dude, the puns of the names back then were
Yeah.
horrible.
I think I'm gonna go to 01 and try to learn that.
Nice. I mean, I think it's a 0-1 over and over again for like the first 2 minutes, and then it's like three sentences, then back to 0-1. But no, so I'm looking at this, and when we last time we talked, like I didn't realize like I was looking at how the programming works for it and like setting them up and calibrating this and that, and I was like, those sewing machines are more complicated than a 3D printer. Like,
I
and
can
I'm not
see
even
that.
joking, because the STL file, you literally just adjust the scale size and it fixes the whole thing for you. And then you print it and you walk away because you could balance it and heat up the thing and that. But most of them have so much software and programming in them. They have fail safes, this, that. Like, you can't sit there and set a patch to, oh, I'm going to make 5 patches and walk away. It's like, no, you got to change thread. Then when one patch is done, you got to get another sheet to put over there. I was like, I you have to babysit those machines while you're working. And I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much work went into that.
Yeah.
So you
That
probably should increase your prices.
I go through
I was like,
hell
we're just
and
gonna you put those prices up because that's a lot of work. That's like a full-time job right there.
I wish this could be a full time job. But to answer that question, um, wait, wait. The first, not the question, the statement first. It is a hard job to do, where you have to take care of your machines. This one over here is about 3 years now. About to be 3 years old.
Yeah.
Um, I only had about a couple of problems with it, and those problems are mostly like, oh, I need rest, or like the timer is messed up, and I just gotta go get it changed. This one, my newest one, has the most problems. I
Oh
use
wow.
it. I use it more
Oh, okay.
because of the fact it's bigger patches. Not even just it being bigger patches. The fact that I'm using, I can with this one I only make one. This one I'm making two patches at a time. So I'm
Yeah, I
using a
noticed
lot of
that you were doing
threads.
this. You were doing the side by sides on the new
Yeah,
one when
so
you stream.
I'm using more threads. Um, and that one takes about 80 minutes, an hour, just to finish some. As this one doesn't take that much thread, take that much like beating up to do a patch. So I'm running out of time with that one faster. So I'm always bringing that one to the shop. I literally the whole August before, like you can say the whole August, like literally leaving to go to PMC machine mess ups, trying to make a couple more patches for the con. Come back. First thing I had to do, like literally, I worked that Tuesday. I came back that Tuesday morning to just literally come home, drop off my stuff, put my stuff in the bag, go to the shop, drop it off, head to work.
Oh wow.
Um, just to like have
Uh,
make
I'm
sure it's
trying to
there.
I'm trying to find it. I think my wife has it. She has the Ninjetti coin patch that she got from you, and she, since you mentioned Power Morphicon, like with like obviously getting to meet up Power Morphicon was, I tell everyone, like the highlight of my trip going up there, besides all the merch I bought, because
Yeah,
I like my merch, but I was like, but even I showed her, she's like, oh, he was on your podcast. I was like, yeah, look at the patch. She's like, those patches are really cool, and I was like, yeah, and she's like, because she's a Power Ranger. I don't want to say she's a Power Ranger fan. She watched when she was a kid, where she's the same age as me. I think she's like no, she's like a year and a half younger. So she grew up in the same age range where she was like 4 or 5 when Power Rangers came out.
yeah,
So, she recognizes like the OG and Zeo, and then she knows Turbo, and then 2017 movie. That's about it. That's what it.
there you go. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that age, let's face it, she wasn't the demographic for Power Rangers. Even though Power Rangers was for everyone, Disney swooped in and got a lot of the females out of Power Rangers. Can't compete with Disney until
yeah,
they owned Power Rangers. But no, so she saw the patches. She's like, "That's really cool," and I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "You." And even she afterwards, we were talking about it, she's like, "That like, does he do other stuff besides Power Rangers?" And I said, "I'm like, well, why? Like, there's not a like." Because she was like, "Oh, Disney's." I'm like, "Man, you get the licensing issues. Like we don't mess. We stay away
yeah,
from the mouse. Like
yeah.
the mouse. Yeah,
I that's one thing I try my best to stay away from. That's why everybody like, why you don't do anime? I
no.
know too many people, and I
Oh
watch a lot of people that does the same machine work as me that does anime, and they do some stuff with like Nike check anime
yeah,
stuff. I'm like, that's amazing. Your
yeah,
style is amazing. I just don't like the idea of two things that you're doing. That's a Nike check. Then lucky enough, Nike do not own that check because of the check.
yeah,
Um, and the anime, the character that you don't own. Like I don't own any of the Ranger stuff, but the
no,
fact that the design is mine.
yeah.
But like your
That's the
thing is like
difference.
that's a character that you just naturally just like have. Like that's not yours.
Yeah,
But
that's
if Funimation or Crunchyroll comes in and go, yeah, deceased.
yeah.
Get
Yeah,
that.
Toei animation gets in there. I mean, we deal with Toei. I deal with Toei from a tokusatsu side of things. I can only imagine Toei animation on my ass also because I'm like, listen, one side of Toei is enough. I don't need because that's something too. Like with a pad, like that's why it's like your own designs, which makes them also unique. And also, like I said, you've carved out the niche in tokusatsu, and
Um,
it also works for you that Power Rangers is still a thing here
yeah,
in the United States.
it's
So it's like like the Power Rangers gets to kind of be like the foundation of everything that holds everything up. Because let's face it, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, very uh, mm, Ultraman more so than Kamen Rider, but not really a big presence here.
yeah. Kamen Rider is slowly getting here. Even
Yeah,
though it's really it's big, it's
yeah,
just it's not the impact didn't hit us yet. It's only for like certain people that it actually knows. That's why when I do conventions, it's like it's a little hard to sell Kamen Rider stuff because not a lot of people know Kamen Rider, but it's easy to sell like B Fighter because
yeah,
Beetleborgs.
yeah.
Um,
That's a cool thing too. It's like someone could be like, "Oh, you have uh Mighty Morphin Power Rangers." Like, yeah, Zoo Ranger.
I have had that happen. I have had that happen because I do have my book signed, not signed, but like I have my book going by the Japanese names, not
Yeah,
the American names. I think the only one that says American name is Omega Ranger, um, and like so everything. I think like I don't know how they didn't touch that in the Lightning collection. Like look, like Alien Ranger is nice, okay, but you should have said you had that ready. Oh yeah, no, I was in there. I was in the chat. It was chilling there. Um, I used to be a YouTube content creator a long time ago, so that was my old name right there. So I'm okay. I tried not to show nobody that name. it's crazy because yeah, it's like some things I want to look like. It's so many characters I want to touch. Like I think the other one that I was like, what made me go to that character is because I met them was Bulk and Skull. I was like, oh man, I gotta do Pig the Pig Ranger or the Purple Ranger and the Orange Ranger because I'm like, yo, that's Bulk and Skull. And I would love to get one signed by them. So lucky enough, I got a chance to see them again, give them,
But I was actually implying outside of Omega Rangers because there's a new IP that's less than 2 years old that's making some waves right now. And a couple of the writers, actually the whole entire writing staff and crew, are at Power Morphicon. The Massive Verse from Higgins and Parrott and Melissa Flores. I don't know if you've dabbled in reading anything for Radiant Black or anything like that, but some of those designs, I feel like
I
those would.
spoke I spoke to the man that created Lloyd Draken.
Mm, good old Higgins.
And I was like, oh, because I always ask, I'm like, hey, I was like, hey, how would you feel if me doing patches on your characters? Um, and he just gave me just like, because I wanted to give him one. I was like, I
Yeah,
didn't want to do it for myself. I just
yeah,
like, oh, I wanted to give him, I wanted to test him out, and he was like, yeah, that's okay, that'd be cool. And I want to see how it goes from there. Maybe in the future, maybe if I make it and he sees it, he'll
yeah.
probably talk something into that. Definitely
Because
popping up with glow in the dark the way I want to, and
oh
I
yeah,
also have to see how I would bring that not even just that all the characters to life because there's so many
oh
great
yeah. The new
characters.
one that has started, another shameless plug for Melissa Flores, who's taking over Power Rangers. By the way, that
Is it
Dead Lucky. Oh,
is this like
that's
the
good.
purple one? Is
It's
that
like,
purple
yeah, it's like
paint?
pinkish purple, like, and I was like, the design of the helmet on that, I was like, instantly, I was like, man, if K20 gets into the Masterverse, that's gonna be a clean looking patch. Because I was like, because this is exploding right now, the Masterverse. Like, I'm hard pressed to say that, like, because it's original in the United States, made no ties to anything else, but everyone who's working on it has had their hand in Power Rangers, whether it's a comic or a show or this and that. So it's like it's
They
it's
they they, they understand it.
yeah,
They
it's
know
hitting good.
what to do to make something come together. So it works for them. But it's I already spoke to the one of the people, so I wanted to. I probably it's been an idea because like a lot of stuff get written down,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I know. I seen your book. You were telling me about your book where you write stuff down.
yeah,
You're
it gets
taking notes.
yeah. Like I love hearing from people like, "Yo, try this." I'm like, hmm,
Yeah.
it's probably already in
Because
the book
yeah,
or something.
like you always say, it's also the demand for it. Like if you do it, that's why I always say if you're gonna go follow K20 on Instagram and on Twitter, constantly doing polls to gauge the audience of what people are
Yep,
feeling, like the
planning
warmth
ahead.
of stuff, what's gonna work, planning ahead, what's popular. Like most of Wave 3 for Kamen Rider was basically I saw your voting popping up and I was like, yeah. I was like, some
Yeah,
good votes. You have there's so many options to pick from, especially if you're going into secondary riders
yeah.
and everything else. It's like, but you can't just pick everything you want. You got to That's why you got to be like, okay,
That's the main idea. Like, if I pick everything I want, it'll be the whole Blade series. Okay, it'll be no other series. I yeah.
Garen, Chalice, even annoying Mutsuki as Liangle.
Why?
He's so,
Why?
he's so whiny. I hate his character so much. I love it.
I was like, there's so many characters. Like the designs for Blade are amazing. The
Yeah,
design for Build was good. Like
that's
there's so many characters like designs. I'm like,
yeah.
yo, that would be great in the patch. So that's another thing that kills me because it's like, man, I'll look at that I'm like, huh,
It's
oh,
it's it's great. It's one of those ones where it's like, man, I am still really hopeful that we get another one. Like
well, we didn't
it,
deserve 8 episodes, but they gave us 8 episodes.
yeah.
We
Like
didn't
and
deserve
it was
8 episodes.
quality, and I was like, I would be okay with a second season, even if it's not the same cast or even some of the same cast, but like a different tribute to a different Sentai series, like just something, because that was just the suits, even this just the school outfits alone when they weren't in their
Yeah.
Sentai form were. I was like, man, that's a clean. Like I was like, I may have to cosplay that because that's not a difficult cosplay and it looks good.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not.
It's still definitely a modified school uniform with a helmet.
Yeah, that's true. And it's really one of those
Yeah,
like catchy ones. Like you see it and you just fall in love with it.
it kind of gave me like Go Kaiser vibes just
Yep.
because the pirate suit, the school uniform, and I was like, that's not that's not bad at all. But
Hmm.
I don't want to gloss over because we've mentioned it twice now. Tell me, how did you enjoy Power Morphicon?
Um.
Because you were living your best life on social media. I was like, oh, he's this
So
is
let's get into the idea of Power Morphicon. Power Morphicon, it's the biggest con for Power Ranger. And now like, I could just say for Tokusatsu fans and regularly can't really just say Power Rangers, even though it's called Power Morphicon. It's for everybody. In that brand. Um, I didn't even think I was gonna be going. Let's make that clear. That's
I remember the
the
DMs.
the idea of me going was even like getting slimmer and slimmer and
I remember at
slimmer.
one point you literally told me you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out there. I'm like, nah, you got it. It was like 3 weeks, like less than three. It was probably like 3 weeks before the convention. Like, I'm not sure if I'm like, man,
Yeah,
like,
I don't got my ticket. I don't got my plane
yeah,
ticket. I was going there as a for a friend. Um, the person I can happy to call a friend. Let's make that clear.
yeah,
This person asked me to be a helper for their desk, their table, and I can also sell my stuff. And to have that person just like, hey, yeah, yeah, we're friends. It's like family now. Um, was amazing to have somebody even do that after just meeting me once. Let's make that clear. That person, that was
yeah,
our first um, Ranger stop. Was
yeah.
our
I was
first
say the
time.
stop and pop. You was when
Yeah,
you met them. Yeah.
yeah. That was our first time meeting each other, and we clicked. We became good. It took us like the first night hanging out to us be like click, and it's been great from there. And now we're like, we we text like most of the time on the
Right.
phone, and and I definitely just been like, yeah, that's family right there. Um, and they treat me like family when I was out there in Cali. They just knew how Cali was, so it was easier for them to like just show me around
Oh yeah.
out there. First time being out there in
It
Cali.
could be overwhelming.
Yes, I figured out Hollywood for me. I was like, Hollywood is Manhattan, and I just figured
Yeah.
that out. I was like,
Oh yeah.
Hollywood is Manhattan to me, and I looked around. I was like, oh, I'm in Manhattan. All right, cool. That's what you say to
If you
me.
know how to traverse New York at all, like Manhattan area, especially like the congested nature of like Times Square and down near like what is it? Not
Like Lower Manhattan or Upper
I'm trying
Manhattan.
to think like was it Bryant Park or something?
Oh, that's still Manhattan. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like
still 40. That's like
yeah,
47.
yeah, but if you know how to like navigate that area and like knowing, okay, you're getting to a questionable area, be like, I don't want to go keep going that way. Like this is like the safety border. Like, but that's the same way with like how LA is. It's not as bad in San Diego, but LA, I learned that really quick from all the times I went to LA. It's like, oh, like over by the Staples Center and then Hollywood. Then I walk this way, and I'm like, I was like, I'm a block away from not where I want to walk or be anymore. It's like, let's just turn around and go back that way.
I was just happy to see the stars
Oh
like the Hollywood. I was like,
yeah.
that's cool. Get to see names. Um, that's cool. But um, PMC itself was amazing. I got so I had more fun just having the experience to be in there. I got a chance to see a lot of the people I know from TikTok, not TikTok, Twitter. So that was the cool part because I got a chance to meet Jen and his people, you. It was supposed to be Hawk, but things happened.
Yeah.
Hawk couldn't make it. Um, so
Hopefully in
it was
2 years he'll be able to make it.
yeah, definitely. And then cool part is that my favorite series is Wild Force. It's 100% Wild Force. Can
Okay.
never change that. Like I can go back and watch Wild Force and fall in love with it again. Oh, I
Sure.
remember one time just making Wild Force patches and having Wild Force playing in the back. I didn't need to watch it. I already knew what episode I was on
Right.
just by hearing something. I was like, I know what episode. That's how much I love Wild Force. And everybody's like, why you like Wild Force? Because that was the first one for me to choose a series to watch. It wasn't like Mighty Morphin was a choice. Like for me,
Yeah.
I was young. I had my older brothers, so they were
Okay.
the
So
first
it
ones
was,
to know it.
yeah, they you watch what they wanted to watch.
Yeah, so even though Mighty Morphin was great,
Yeah.
it was great. It was good at the
It
time.
was all right.
It was great when we was
Yeah.
growing up.
Oh yeah. No.
Um,
100%.
Let me make that clear. It was great when we was growing up because we didn't understand it. And it was just like, oh, outfits
Yeah.
and these transform stuff, like it's morphing and
I s
these characters.
it's
Oh,
it's funny. I was on Netflix. There's like that Toys That Make Us series, and I was watching the Power Ranger episode, and
oh,
I started having like PTSD flashbacks to like me, 7-year old me, not knowing any better, having like my mom or my aunt take me to Toys R Us to try and get Power Ranger toys and realizing they were just cleared out or there's just grown ass adults fighting over toys because I lived like it was like a 20-minute drive to the closest Toys R Us. And back then there weren't like Targets and Amazon, this, that. It was just Toys R Us where you got your toys or KB toys. And I started having like random flashbacks. I was like, what's wrong? I was like, I just remembered when freaking Tommy showed up in their show and then they started releasing the toys and I just wanted a Dragon Zord and I remember just trying to go to Toys R Us with my aunt because I did good in school for the week and I did all my homework and I went to soccer practice and she gets me a toy and I just remember grown dudes just wiling for these things and I'm just like staring at me like I just want Dragon Zord. Like I didn't know how
I
crazy
don't
people were
think
for
I
that stuff.
had. I don't think I had a Dragon Zord myself. I had all the toys, like the
Oh
other
yeah.
figures. I wish I had. My mindset now is like, I wish I had all the toys growing up now, like all the wrestling
I
toys and all those wrestling Power Ranger toys. Like I had Power Ranger toys to like I would say Turbo. I had like Luke to Turbo, um, and then like to think like all that toys would have been like crazy money now.
I
But probably wouldn't have sold them. But
I still have some from '94.
that's amazing.
I have when they started releasing the villain line.
Oh my god, the good
Yeah. So
ones.
I have like that mole guy. I have Goldar. I have the bone dude with the top hat, the pink cape. I have Eye Guy, and because Eye Guy is like my favorite because that was a Zack episode, obviously. So obviously it's gonna be like one of the best episodes ever. Yeah, I still have some of mine, and I wish if I still had some of them, I wish I had them at least in mint condition and in the box because those things are money now.
uh,
Because yeah,
oh,
so
but yeah,
Wild for I'm
yeah.
shocked because I don't think last time we talked about like Power Rangers really much about
Wild
from a
Force
show
is.
standpoint.
I think Wild Force is one of the best series, like character development wise. Each one, like even by the end of the series, you like even though they lost their powers, they live. You don't have to bring them back because they already told the ending of their story right now. So if you
Nice.
want, like, you can bring them back now, and you just have to continuation for what they ended with. There's no like, oh man, Mighty
Uh,
Morphin. They just went to space.
I
They did this and this. They just ended a thing, and they all traveled.
I've
They
never
all
seen Wild Force.
oh man they so
I don't want to
and
say my Power Ranger history because like I will get
it's like
flamed off the internet.
it's okay
Like
it's
I
okay.
stopped at like Lost Galaxy. Then I came back for Dino Thunder.
That's
Then
a
I
good jump.
stopped and then I tried catching Megaforce, and I only because I like the suit designs, obviously. And Super Mega Force, I like the Super Mega Force designs better, but I didn't like the show. And then I came back because like they had like that big ultimate battle with all of them coming back, and they were really like I saw commercials advertising that episode coming up, and I was like, oh, I gotta check this out. They got Tommy, Jason Font, they got all of them coming back. I was like,
Mhm.
I'll check out this show, and then I just stopped watching until Dino Fury.
I think I watched all the way up to SPD. No, Mystic Force.
Oh,
I
and
was like,
Time Force. In
I was
between
like,
all that, I checked out Time Force because freaking Eric and the Quantum Ranger is the best Ranger ever invented.
finally met him. Good
I
guy.
did too. Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that was the
I didn't
highlight.
see. You
That was the
didn't see
highlight.
it,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, I was like,
He,
Quantum
I gave him a
Ranger.
patch, and then he literally, I was like, oh wait, I want to give you another one to sign for me. And he was like, oh no, no, huh? Sign the one I gave him. Just give me one tomorrow. I was like, uh, uh, cool. And he ran around to my table, shook my hand. Amazing patch. I was like, oh wow. I don't know what to do. Nah, play it cool.
Yeah, yeah,
like, but the person I was with, a lot of people wouldn't know. I was with Princess Shayla, aka no, what Princess Shayla is the character name from Wild Force. She was the princess from the series. Um, and to the fact like I am, can say I'm like cool friends with her, amazing. We keep in contact. Um, we're actually preparing for Orlando.
nice.
Um,
Yeah, when you introduced me, I was just like, I looked at the banner and I was like, because I don't watch a lot of seasons, but I've at least educated myself enough on the seasons that I haven't watched, so I'm not like a complete idiot when I go to conventions. And I was like, okay, it's Wild Force, and I was like, nice, because I know of Wild Force, I know the suits, I've seen clips of it, I haven't like watched the full season, and I was like, because when you said, yeah, working with a friend at their booth, and I was like, and then in my head, I'm like,
that's not a
man,
friend. That's not
I was
a friend.
like, I was like, you over here shaking babies and kissing hands and getting all. I was like, good for you, because I know after we talked about Ranger, I always want to call it like Pop and Stop. I don't know why. Like it's such a weird name for a convention. Like
Yeah,
Stop and Pop. Like
it's
I get it's a
yeah.
pop up convention, but I hate the name so much.
Yeah,
It-
Ranger Stop and then Pop. Because I think it
yeah.
was because the Pop is more of like the pop culture.
Oh, I thought it
Because
was Pop like pop up shot, like pop up convention, because
I
they
always thought
travel.
I thought it was because of that, like because it's like the Ranger Stop, and then you
Yeah.
have that like the other things that do come. Like
Yeah.
last one was like All That, a couple of characters from All
Oh
That, and then
damn.
the Ninja
Man,
Turtles,
I gotta go to one of these.
and then I think Ranger Stop Convention 8 is the rest of the cast of the Ninja Turtles. So we got Kevin Nash. If a lot
Yeah.
of people don't know, Kevin Nash
Super Shredder.
plays Super Strutter. And
Ugh,
I'm sitting here like, we we didn't want this, but I'll
man.
take it.
I need
Super
to
Strutter.
I need to
Not a
get
lot
him
of
to
people know
sign
about.
my. I need him to sign that figure for me, because I got the NECA Super Shredder, or
Oh my god.
or I could get him to sign my Punisher DVD.
Not a lot of people don't know about these greatness.
Oh, I know he was in a lot of stuff. Like, but that's because I got that was really cool. I was like, man, because after that, it's like that's one of the coolest things. Like when we were talking, like I was all like, oh my god, all this Kamen merch, and then I was like, but you're working, you're there making connections, this and that, and I was like, man, I was
Yeah.
like, this is how
I
you
thought
should be doing it.
this my I think the craziest person to be next to the horse home, and like when I say crazy, it's more like fun, was Philip, aka my favorite Six Ranger. Like JDF, nice, great,
He's
but
good. He's good.
Wolf Ranger, I love wolves. So the fact that I'm next to the Wolf Ranger and he's just like, "Hey, boy," and we just chatting the whole
This
time, and I'm sitting like, "This is amazing."
this
I
is
was
happening,
literally next to my favorite series,
right?
and I'm like, "This is everything for me. This is what I wanted. This is it." I didn't
This
think I
I
was gonna
peaked.
meet them.
It's like I
Like,
can retire now. It's like
yeah, I'm
I'm
done.
good.
Like, guys,
Yeah,
here we good. But then because of the fact, like, right behind me, like literally behind us, was literally in space. So if I wanted to hang out
yeah,
with Chris, I just went around like, "What's up, Chris?"
yeah,
Like it was so cool because I'm like, I'm next to all the people I know.
yeah.
Like I know Chris. Like I'm another cool friend of mine. Um, fun. We not fun. Um, Zane. I'm just gonna call him by Zane.
Zane,
Zane.
Zane.
Yeah, he's another cool person. I know him and
Yeah,
his wife or his girlfriend. Cool peeps. Love them. Same thing goes for Chris. Amazing. Um, so it's like, oh man, I'm right here. I can just go around like, hey guys, how you doing?
yeah.
We just
What's
chilling
up?
out. Nothing happening over here right
That
now.
that's the coolest thing about conventions, because like I don't like going to conventions if I'm just gonna be like walking around the convention floor, which is why I only did one day at Power Morphicon. One, the drive was trash with all the freaking traffic and construction, but it's like
Yeah.
any conventions I've for the last 6 7 years, anytime I've gone to conventions, I've had a booth. I've worked at booths or worked with other companies and this and that, because it's like that experience to me is more fun than just walking around. And you know, photo ops are nice and autographs are nice, but it's like you could only do so much just walking around. And I feel like it's more personal when you actually have a booth at a convention. Like, other than your booth, my favorite booth I was always at was CV's booth, because that artwork. Because I got
CV.
I got the Blade King form right behind me. Because
Yeah,
it,
CV is an amazing
and
person.
I was just like, man, I was like two people that, like, I've talked to you and this and that. I've commented on CV stuff, followed his Instagram and this that. I'm like, man, I was like, you both have two different like carved out spots where I'm just like, if I want a patch and I want something good that's Toku, K20. If I want gold foiled Kamen Rider Blade King form, I'm going to CV.
CV is a person that motivates the shit out of me.
Oh,
Like
like,
he motivates me. Like he's just he gets better every time. Every time I
I
see him,
know,
like he posts something, I'm just like, are you just watching me? Like I think you're watching me, and I don't know why. Why are you watching me, man? Because
right?
every time you post something, I'm like, I just said I was about to do that, or I already care about the memorial stuff. I think the only one that was like memorial I might get is Gokai
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Only because I want that
You
bottom
guys are
key.
just linked. Your minds
And
are
I would
linked, and you're
love to
both
have
thinking of these great
two
things at
Kaiser
the same time.
key. But besides that, don't really care. Um, but yeah,
I think it was RX. Right. Yeah. You just, yeah. Uh, oh, yeah.
the sweat and tears, more tears. Let's work.
Okay. I was like, they would say pills. Like, okay. Okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. As you should. Nah.
Yeah,
Right. Nah. Goes to Stacy Shrine.
yeah.
Oh, I know you did. I I almost bought the Memorial, the Stacy like premium Bandai gear set, because some people had some buyer's remorse and were selling it for cheaper than it was on premium Bandai. And I was like, I'll let you know, because they were selling it for 60 with free shipping. And I was like, you're losing money on that.
Like I want to. I think that's the only shirt I want to do. And if I ever do it, like I like the hats. I like the whole
Yeah.
idea of just. I like the whole idea of just a logo on a hat, simple logo, dad hat.
Yeah.
People love them because
No.
there's a way to get you a
Yeah.
logo that you like
But no, I
that's
get what you're
really
saying with like
serious with.
other, like,
And I
for
think
me, I mean,
individuals
I
that
do a
get a
lot of
lot of
YouTube stuff with
serious with
Toku stuff, but the
packaging
podcast is
series,
like
a lot
my
of
main
people are like,
focus. It
"Oh
has
man,
been for over
I didn't know
almost
you do
4 years
series and
now.
stuff like
And
that."
I will,
So that's
there's a lot
another
of
thing that I'm like,
podcasters and content
I
creators that
I
don't
might
do
have to
Toku
put a
stuff,
little bit on
but
those
are in the
two
nerd
or
scene doing that stuff. And I'm
gimmicks.
like, okay, I like
Um,
the way they're doing
you
stuff.
know,
Like,
we
I was like, after
like I
like
said in my
2.5 years doing the
Discord,
podcast, I was like, let me
I've been
start doing like video versions.
talking
Like,
to some
I'm ready
employees
to
and
start do
stuff,
some
so
video versions. They're doing
probably
it.
see them
It's just
shirts.
more access, and it's kind of nice when you're having someone on. People can see their face and see what they're working on. Like, someone could watch the video right now and be like, yeah, he does have two machines set up.
Yeah,
That is
the icons
a
are so fast,
workstation.
and
He's
I
putting in the
try
work.
to
It's like, yeah,
develop like icon
but
the I
like,
forgot what they call for the 01
but
key.
like I said, like you
But
pointed
yeah,
out, they're all, yeah,
the
right.
the
They're all doing different things for you,
piece,
but it's
the
like
middle
you're
piece,
all, in the
Oh,
same market but doing different things. So it's a motivation thing. A lot of people see
so
things
those are
as
the
a
ideas I'm like
competition, like,
Toku
oh,
is
this is my
something great
competition. Oh,
to get
why is
into, but
their newest
we will
merch they're
see.
doing that's got
We
a
have so
thousand
much
likes?
on
I got
Wave
like 200. That's like,
NM
but
shit.
you always see it in a motivational standpoint,
Yeah,
which is good.
let's test
Keeps you hungry, keeps you
like let's
focused,
test those out,
because
see how
it's
those
easy
go,
to
and then
slip into
after that,
that
I will.
getting competitive with other people route, especially in the space that you were carving out with Toku merch. Because there's always someone new popping up. Like I just saw, um, there's a new t-shirt company that came out that's doing like henshin line stuff, and they got some blade shirts and all these other ones. And they're minimalistic, they're clean looking, and I was like, wow, these are good. And I was like, they stand out, they're different. And then I'm like, this is also like the 10th Toku shirt company I've seen, and that's new in the last like 2 months. I like the hats. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like when we talked, I was like, there's some gimmicks that are simplistic in design, but when you see them, you know what they are, even if they're like hyper detailed, like the icons or you know all the progress keys. Yeah, the little raised buck, the ID cores. The ID cores definitely could. Yeah, yeah. I know you just got wave three out. It's like going into four. It's like
Want to go back into Sentai. So for all
I would
people
say,
that
yeah,
Wave
said.
9,
Yeah, because I would say Sentai, you've got a lot of waves for it, and it's like when I first started stuff. I think wave one of your commenter stuff wasn't out yet when I first started talking to you online, and then
yeah,
because I noticed the Sentai stuff, and I was like, I like the Sentai stuff, but like at the same time, I always tell everyone, you want to talk Super Sentai, don't talk to me. I've now since in the last year I've watched 3 seasons finally, so I'm up to 5 seasons total I've watched. I was like, I am not the Sentai guy. I was like, I recognize them as Power Ranger helmets, but I was just like, yeah, because you've got a lot of waves of those, and then when you started doing Kamen Rider, then you're interjecting Ultraman. You're gonna get like B Fighter, which that's that's a nice niche to get into because the Metal Hero line there's so many.
and to just to throw out about PMC, somebody bought like my metal writers. I mean metal fighters, and I was like, oh, okay, you got the metal people, but they were automatically like, oh yeah, um, Beetle Boys. I was like, look, however you want to buy
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
But yeah, it's so cool to like just even however the character is the fact that like the character, so
yeah,
that's good.
and that's why whenever everyone compares Power Rangers to Super Sentai, I'm like, don't, because for some person this will be Super Mega Force, but another one it's Gokaiger.
Right. Speaking of that,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
something about PMC. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
told me about this.
Oh no,
So I gave a patch to Andrew. Gray?
I think
Andrew
that's
Gray?
yeah,
aka Super Mega Force Red.
yep,
Um and I also gave it to, Marvelous and the actor that played Marvelous and the actor that played Guy. I think I said his name right. Guy.
yeah, Condor, right?
Gondo, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a chance to meet them. They were a really nice guys. But I gave the patch to Andrews, and nobody told me until Sunday that that man been wearing my patch the whole time.
Oh,
Like he was wearing it at the convention after he got it.
yeah,
So like I think I got a text. What, on Sunday? No, wait. Mighty Jim made a joke about it to me, and I was like, he was like, "Yeah, you see, Andrew's wearing your patches." And I was like, "Until I see it, I don't believe
Yeah.
that."
It's like,
Like,
sure, if you
until
say
I
so.
see it, I don't believe none of that. But thank you. Um, so I think um Jim, my like artist, not Geo, the artist that does my work, he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, is this your patch?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm in the car with Anna and it's like about to get some food after having like the last day done. I'm going through it, and I had to like zoom into the phone. I'm like,
Right.
hold on, oh shit,
Like, that's my
that is my
patch.
patch. And like I'm sitting here like, this man wore my patch the whole
Right.
week. And then my friend, like when I got back to New York, my friend hit me up. I think the week after he was in another convention in like San Diego, no, Sacramento.
Yeah,
Um,
no, not San Diego. That was the
like
Sacramento one.
yeah, it was like SacCon. I think that's what they call it, Sac
Yeah.
something. And he's wearing a patch still. I was
Oh
just
wow.
like, he did
Hey,
he
that's
did
good
amazing.
marketing.
I was like, wow, man, that's so great. That's so crazy. Like those stuff is like, I was like, man, I didn't ask you to do this.
Yeah.
You wore it because like I love his energy. He's positive energy vibes.
Oh, yeah,
And
Andrew's
and I
really
told him
cool.
like I already told him like, look, your series was good for what you did. Don't let nobody tell you different. And I was like, that's the point. Like I think that's what we lose the thing for is the fact that like we forget. I think we all forget the fact that like it's not their fault when they do the
No,
scenes, when
they're
they do these things.
they're
It's
doing
not
what they're
what
told.
they're told to do.
Yeah.
And people can get plain about it. It's like they was told to play this character like this, to play this character like this scene like this. They blocking, they all this was because they was told to act
Yeah.
this way. But
It's not like they have JDF creative control or anything.
oh my god,
I'm
no,
kidding. I'm kidding. I've met JDF twice outside of conventions, just like civilian, like
I never met
shopping.
them.
Nicest. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I'll meme and I'll make jokes, but still one of the nicest and most respectful of the actors I've ever met.
I,
Like,
I never met the guy that paid for me to get to PMC. I never met him.
I mean, I
that
got,
that
yeah,
man was like one of those people that pays like for your college tuition and you never met them. You never meet
yeah.
them.
Hey,
But he's one of those like he paid for my whole college semester and we never met. But no, we were supposed to meet. He was
yeah.
gonna it was so many like back
he
to back
was he
contracts.
was swamped and he stayed signing past when he was supposed to make sure everyone got a signature. After they
Yeah,
cut off his line, he just stayed and kept going, and then they did the reunion panel and then the photo ops.
yeah,
Like, that's what I tell everyone, say what you will about him and everything, and egos and this and that, like, he does care about the fans though.
yeah, he does.
And all of them do. Like, I haven't had any out of all the different conventions. I've been to literally every major convention in the United States. Anytime I've met anyone who's done anything with Power Rangers, I have nothing negative to say about anyone I've met that has been on Power Rangers, and I'm like, they're all
Mm,
very fortunate and just humbled
I
when
think
you're
I
like, oh
have
hey, I'm a fan.
no. No. I'm trying to think. I'm like, I probably don't like a ranger, but I'm not gonna say who.
I'll
But
say I
like,
still got beef with Walter Jones, although like I got to meet him finally at Power Morphicon finally, so I'm not really angry anymore because I was supposed to meet him in 2015, but he had flight issues, so he missed the convention, and I was like, you were the
that is
last person I needed to meet to complete my my Mighty Morphin, like, meeting everybody. And I was like, why it took me 7 years later, but finally got to meet him, and I was like, oh. And the messed up thing is, like, a week before Power Morphicon, he did a signing at my local comic book shop, and I was at work, and I was like,
wow. Like, I
but yeah,
think he's the coolest one I met because I met him before, like, I started doing this. Like, I met him just random at a party for New York Comic Con. Like, I was just at the after party, and he pulled up. I think I met him and Rocky the same way. Oh wait, Steven. Like
Yeah,
all
yeah,
off like
Steve.
all from just like, oh man, we ran into a at an after party. Um and then after that it just became like normal, like, oh yo, when we see each other, what's up? Like me and like I
Yeah,
met him Steven like different cons, and it's been like a normal, hey, what's up? How you doing, man? How you doing? We good, man?
yeah,
Shake hands, boom boom.
yeah.
And
I'm
it's
like that
cool.
with Austin because I've met him so many times.
Like I think him, Chris is easy to talk to because we have so much in common, so it's so easy conversation. Um, Anna, same way.
Yeah,
After we met, it was just easy conversation. Bulk and Skull, really easy conversation to have. Um, Karen, another person that's easy like to walk up to, have a full conversation with, and just chat for a while.
yeah, I'm like that with a
Jason
few.
Font is another person that's easy to like. We chat for a while. Um, his wife is the reason we met because I met her first, and I gave her a patch, and we were just chatting for like, she's like, "You made these," and we just had a whole
Yeah.
conversation, and then we met because he was busy the whole time, and I got something signed from. I got one of the badges that he had. I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Let me get one of these." And I think I made so much money at that con. I was like,
Oh,
I could spend money.
right,
Why, why
right.
not?
I know that's like when I went over to you. I was like, "Hey, look, I got drivers." I was like, "They're over there. They're like $24." It's
I know
like
I'm mad because I didn't go. I wasn't making money. I could tell you that I wasn't making money to like go
that
crazy
was
with.
that was like
It
I
was a
s-
slow con, but it was the
it was
experience
that's what I'm
there.
saying. That's what I liked
It's
about it. It wasn't hectic. It was a
yeah.
chill
I think
convention.
like for me, people might come at me and like, "Oh man, you didn't make money," and everything. I was like, "No," but my experience there
Dude,
beats the shit out of that. Because
from
y'all might look at it as like, "Oh man, I made no money," but I made too many connections with
exactly
people
and
that
promotion.
money will be back to me soon.
Oh no,
Like
exactly.
I met the guy that played the father from Lost Galaxy. No, 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 Lost Galaxy. Sorry, um, Lightspeed Rescue. The dad of the Pink Ranger and the Silver Ranger. And then the fact that we sat there, had a whole conversation about, hey, yo, I want to put patches on my table. Some of the logos from like from I'm just gonna say the Japanese name, Go Go Five.
Yeah,
And I was sitting there like, yes, I'm down. I do make those. Well, nah, I just didn't get a chance to make them for this convention because a lot of times
yeah,
I usually focus on the helmets because that's
yeah.
where a lot of times get paid. Like people
That's
buy
what
them.
sells more. Yeah, is the
Yeah.
helmets.
I just have the symbol stuff just on the side for like, oh yeah, you looking for certain things just to add on to the cell. It works. But I do love to do that. Like, I think the other person that spoke to me about making like, oh yeah, you should do something for the table is um um Ellie and Red. And I'm like, I don't mind. We can talk money. We can talk
Yeah.
this. This is
Oh
easy.
yeah.
Like I don't mind talking business with you. Like that's how the whole fact of like the JDF thing is happening for me
Yeah.
because he reached out to me and we
Yeah.
figured it out.
And it's like plus you're not going up to them like, hey, I got a business op like you're no, you're a
When
fan first and you're talking to these people like just chill talking and then
when I first started, I was like that. I was like, oh man, because somebody told me like just ask them, like talk about it, talk business with them. And I was like, and like that person is like to me the best person that gave me the best advice of all time because then it gave me confidence to go, hey, this is the stuff I do make. If you want to like have something at your table, we could talk about it. We could definitely do
yeah,
something about that. Like we can make this happen. And that's Mike. He's also from the series Lightspeed Rescue.
yeah,
He was the first person to ever give me the first advice to talk to me to just chat with me the whole time. So the fact that he did that is to now like to have
it's
like people like to me I call like my stepfather, um
right that giving you
Steven,
that advice.
like yeah, like Steven, like another person like he played one of the villains in Mighty Morphin. He was, remember the blue monster with the little shade, little small eyes. I mean, not the small, the little glasses, little small glasses. Blue,
Vaguely.
like he had the blue monster. He was like fanciness, like looked like it was like the beast but skinny, type skinny.
Oh,
I
not
forgot his name.
yeah. I know who you're
Um,
talking about.
yeah, he played that character.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to
and
think. I'm like, man, what's his name? I'm like, no, it's not Finster. Like Finster's the other guy. I was
yeah,
like,
it was the fencer, the fat one,
yeah. And
and then
then
there was the blue little
yeah,
yeah. He played him. He was the, and I met him at the convention I did like a year ago. Um, and he was the one that was like, yeah, dude. Try to get yourself at PMC, and this is I already knew about PMC, but I didn't know if I was gonna do PMC. It was
yeah.
like he laid the blueprint to make me like to go, wow, I could probably do PMC. To
Oh,
me and Anna, Anna Marie, to go and oh yeah, you could do. Yeah, I could put you onto my table and you could do it. To like it literally just went from there to that, and it was like, oh wow, like this is all happening for a reason. So
yeah.
like
And now you have
I
Orlando, which
yeah.
is next early next year, or is it this year? Is
No,
Orlando?
it's this year, next month.
Oh, okay. Because I know there was one in November, and I was like, is that the Ranger Pop Star? I hate the name
No,
so much.
it's that one's Orlando of Orlando's Ranger convention. That's the OG one.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
the good. Yeah, no, because I was just like the good thing about these conventions too is you get enough time in between to kind of like
I
get
get no time.
well, at least not from Power Morphicon to now, anyways. But usually, like from the
Yeah,
last one to
yeah,
Power
the
Morphicon, you had some more
time.
time to like play. Because I remember you were just like, yeah, making all these patches ahead of time and this that. Like, so
Yeah.
I have to ask, do you have an idea off the top of your head? What are your two most popular patches that you're selling? Like of all
Um.
time, what are the two most popular ones?
What? That's a good question. Um. If I have to guess, Green Ranger,
Yeah,
Green
yeah,
Ranger.
that makes sense.
That's if I have to say no, that would be the main one, like a Green Ranger
Yeah,
or anything from Mighty Morphin. Because
yeah. I was gonna
um,
say, I assume
Mighty
many more for
Morphin
most people would
just
probably want like sets for those because
yeah, a lot of those, and then it would be a random another series. Like if you know other series, because like
yeah.
if you know about a series, then that's when those come in.
Well,
But
obviously
besides that,
we know what your top seller is going to be in the for all time, but Wave 3 just came out, so I mean Blade is still, fresh, so I mean it's not we know
we can
we
hope.
know we know that Blade's going to be a top seller. I mean, it's probably the best Toku show ever made.
I don't know. Geese is trying to.
Geets. Oh yeah, no, I think Geets is what's getting like everyone is united that Geets is fire right now. Like I don't think anyone's hating on Geets.
I don't think I ever saw the whole Toku being like, "This is amazing."
Dude,
At the
it's
same time,
weird. Everyone's like united, like Geets is top tier. It's like yes, yes, it is.
yeah.
Like I mean, and you're gonna have a lot, and it's easy because the main focus of Geets for like character design is the different helmets. So it's like that's up your wheelhouse. I mean, we just got Punk Jack and this that. I was like, oh man, he can milk Geets for a long time because there's so it's all just different. Especially when you look at the first episode, the billboard with all the names. There's like 33 different names on there. I was like, that's 33 different helmets right there.
Oh man,
That's
I
more
don't know.
tuition.
I think when it's Comrade wise, I think the most one I like got like sold already. Decade.
Dude, I don't know what it is. Why so many people love Decade so much. I don't get it. Nope,
It's like
not going down that rabbit hole.
yeah,
Listen, we've already been doing this for over an hour. I'm not. That's a whole another hour of me just shitting on Decade, and then it leads into me shitting on Zio.
I was gonna say Zio is right after. They both right now order wise. I think
It's
two or
because they're
three.
anniversary season riders, and I will say the design of them are nice. I just don't like the shows.
Yeah, I think after that, I think I had like Blade will be next because people gonna buy it when they officially know that it's out there, baby. Come on, guys, go for it.
Blade,
But nah. I think build people bought build before, so I think I have
yeah,
that.
Build is definitely really popular. But yeah,
I don't think I
oof.
have any Revice Oh no, I do. I have a
Yeah,
Revice. I have a couple of Revices.
my order too has Revice in it.
Oh,
So
so that already puts it at four. So I have four Revice cells. Because Vice by itself was already not Vice. Revi was already by himself doing like I think he had already two orders. And then I think
nice.
I switched it to being together.
The pair definitely helped. That's definitely gonna help because I mean it kind of makes sense because Vice isn't technically a secondary; he's a part of
He's not a
Icky. So it's
secondary.
like
I always
we never really had this before in Toku, so it's kind of like new territory in how this works.
I had to figure that out. I was like, Revice, he's one. Like it's not like
Yeah,
he's seven. So I
yeah,
automatically was like, look, when the update happens, he will be a part of it, and the price will be this amount
yeah.
because you're getting two patches now, guys.
Nice,
Um, I think
but
con wise, I did it separate, but only because I didn't have them together at the time.
yeah.
I didn't have both.
Well,
Cause,
they were still kind of like you were. I remember because we were talking. You were focused having on because it is Power Morphicon. You were focusing heavy on getting your Power Ranger stuff like made. And then I do remember you saying there were issues with your machine. I thought it was your old one that you're having issues with. That's why you bought the new one. So I had the story
that's
mixed up. I thought your old one was acting up. That's why you bought the new one, and then you were trying to use both, and the old one kept acting
fun
up.
fact. This one messed up, and this one was the one that kept on working through the night. I literally was just making one patches for
Yeah,
like
because you kept telling me like, yeah, you'll make a couple patches and you got to let it cool down for a bit because it gets hot and it
like
overheat.
this.
Yeah, get that
Yeah,
cool down. Yeah,
this one's old. It's just been
yeah,
doing a lot.
yeah. You're
So
putting it's
this is
putting in that
it.
work for you.
Yeah. Oh man,
But
if I knew all the stuff I do now when I first started, this would have been a monster. Like this
yeah,
machine would have been dominating. I
but
like. I'm.
it's those things you learn though. Like you got to make the struggle and the mistakes. That's not new. You learn so that way there it doesn't happen going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, and then this one over here is just like, oh man, it's like I think what happened? It jammed. Like literally, the needle wouldn't just come down. I was like, bro, what is this? Right when I'm trying to work on the green,
Oh, jeez.
no, I was working on the Kiva Ranger, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. I'm working on White Ranger, and I can't. This is great. This is all I
Uh,
wanted my whole
yeah,
time.
this is exactly. Hey, not trying to get stuff done. It's like yeah,
Exactly.
let's take some time and fix a machine.
Yeah. So I literally had to like cut, call the patch, cut the patches out, and then head. I was like, all right, time to get. I didn't even get rest. I knew what time I had to leave, so I was like, I'm gonna get rest on that plane. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna sleep right on that plane. I had it
yeah.
all. I was like, I'm good. And then I didn't. I watched Kaku Ranger.
Yeah. No, I don't rest on planes either. Like
I
I
sat there and watched Kaku Ranger. Like,
nice.
great. This is
This is
headphones in.
yeah, so
Kaku Ranger, the ninja,
it's like I
ninja.
should be resting, but I'm just gonna watch this whole show.
Yeah.
That's a long flight. I fly back and forth from Connecticut to California, family and everything. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a long flight,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if you
So,
get those like 3-4 hour layovers in between. Sometimes I'm like,
ooh, I think I took the flight was like one straight, so it was
yeah.
six
Well, you go
hours.
to LA. There's a lot more direct flights out of New York to LA.
It was a six.
Luckily,
Yeah, it was like a six flight, six there, and then five back.
nice. Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. Obviously, we have obviously it's not the you're going to be on the show again. Obviously, you get the open pass to come on whenever you want. But before you plug your stuff, you want to go over Wave 3 one more time so everyone gets it fresh in their brain so they can order it.
All right, so wave three. Hold on, maybe I didn't do all of them, but we got a good amount.
Oh, he's bringing out the secret binder.
Yeah, this is the binder you see when we have Ryuki. To be honest, a lot of people was hyped for this one. They was like, "Oh!"
It
And
looks
first thing
good.
they said, "Oh my god, Dragon Knight!" I was like, "You son of a guns!"
Hey, it works. Dragonite wasn't bad. Okay.
I know. We have Kamarada Shin.
See, I like that. I like that, even though I don't like the show. I just like the mouth on it and the eyes look really good on
Yeah,
that.
it came out really good, and that was happy right there. Kamen Rider Spectre. The
Spec-
fact that this came out great, and I think I use a good color for this one.
Yeah, no, I saw the photos and like the
Blue
IG
is
story, and I was
great.
like, that was a good color choice for that. It made it stand out more.
Yes, 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 yes. Kamen Rider Kabuto.
Nice.
Um,
All right, you keep showing those off. My wife came in. I'm gonna say hi to her.
aw. Kamen Rider
What's
RX.
so that came out good too.
Yeah, I gotta. I'm gonna be fixing the live now because I already like did the changes I need. That's a good thing. I'm like I love working on them and like getting that change that I need to do. Kamen Rider Black.
I like that one. See, I've always the thing where I like Black's design more than RX.
Right? This one I messed up on, but when you get your order, it'll be a little bit better. Kamen Rider Agazo.
That still came out really good.
Yeah, the eyes messed up. One of them. So
So Wave 3 is a lot larger than I thought.
um,
Honestly, that's the best one out of all of them.
face of the wave, um, blade. I didn't get a chance to work on the other ones, so we still missing. What is it? Ultraman OG and Ultraman Zero.
So with the other ones, before plug the rest of your stuff, when you're coming up with waves, especially now that you're including, other stuff like Subarai, like Ultraman and this and that, uh, are you, because I didn't see if you were doing polls for the voting for those. I saw the comment ones. What process goes into your Ultraman decisions?
The Ultraman's decision. So I went to Vaughn for it for this one. Vaughn is the um Mr. Cooper is the face of like Ultraman for me. I went to him and I was just like, look, I was like, bro, I don't know Ultraman at all. Um, which one should I start off with? And he hit me with two pictures. I didn't know which Ultraman these are. I was just like, I know OG. So I was
Yeah,
like, I knew OG. But when he sent the other one, I was like, oh, I don't
you
know
just
what
make
this
up a
is.
random name for it.
And then, fun fact, I think Gio was the one that sent me the picture with the name on it. Another with the when he sent me the design done, he sent it in the file with the name. I was like, you told me this name was Zero this whole time? I could have easily remembered that if y'all told me that. Nobody said nothing.
It was smart because Zero got all the specials and everything else released on Blu-ray by Mill Creek this year,
Mm,
and it is actually a good design, especially and also picking OG Ultraman's good. Uh, you definitely pick two of the stronger ones that are very popular. The only other ones I think that are popular besides those is Ultra Seven, Jeed, Belial, Orb, RB. Like there's some that are really popular, then some that just when you look at them, you have to like think for a couple seconds, who is that?
yeah, yeah. I know there's different versions of him. I just didn't know which one. I can't give you a name.
I'm a fan,
Just
and most of the time, if you show me one, I'll be like, it takes me a bit to like figure it out. I'll be like, Nebius.
that's why I'm like, look, I'm still learning. That's why when me and like comment right now, like I'm still learning. I think I watch only like I think five Colorados, and and then you get to think about it. With those five, I'm also watching five right now,
Yeah,
different ones at the same time. Like,
yeah.
why am I
You're
doing this to
watching
myself?
current runs and going back. Like I say the
Yeah,
same thing. Like for
I'm.
Kamen Rider, I don't even know everything, and there's two seasons I haven't watched. I've watched every season but two.
I'm assuming one of them is Shin.
No, I haven't finished. I should say I haven't finished two of them. I got halfway through Fies and I started Kabuto. Other than that, I've seen every other season.
Uh, I think I need to. So I'm watching right now, and I think the only one that's like low episodes is Blade right now. That's the only one that I'm like I have to focus. if I watch Blade. I
You
see
really,
Blade.
it's
You
story heavy.
yeah, Blade. You have to sit there and focus on it. I figured out by like the third, like the fourth episode. I was like, yeah, it's actual story here. There's
Yeah,
no like
you can't
sitting.
multitask with that one.
Yeah. So Blade is one of them. Double, um, Wizard for Forza. No, sorry, I'm going to be starting Kiva. So, and right now my main one that I'm watching is Forza.
Forza
Somehow
Wizard
Forza got
Kiva.
my attention. For
It's
it just got my attention by the like the like the first episode actually when he first came in he just like jumped in the water like for that love letter. I was like, this man,
it
I'm gonna
gives
be
me
friends with you. I'm like, what?
a lot of like the indie from like what indie Toku does and a lot of like OG Power Ranger stuff where it's like it's in high school.
Yeah,
So it gives you that vibe where like okay, and it's just like it's very easy to digest, very even though there's space of all this that, but it's a very condensed story where like you could just watch it and have fun, but there's still deep elements to it. But it's just
hmm
like it's not like Blade, where Blade was that Heisei phase one era where they were still doing like dark seasons with evil corporations and everything else. And they weren't interjecting much humor into it unless it was like accidental humor, like Garen shooting Blade every time he goes near him. You know, like that stuff was accidental humor. That wasn't supposed to be funny, but we turned it into memes. You know, but that's that era was at. But like Forza, Wizard, this that. That's when they were starting to have like fun with the show. Like it's fun to watch it,
and who doesn't like somebody with a swaggy cape?
right? Forza and Wizard and Kiva and Blade and Ghost are like my top five.
I need to, like I want to watch Ghost. Only why I want to watch Ghost, I want to see why I hate it. I want to see why the people, and I understand from the point of view of watching Saber second half
Yeah,
because the first half was just amazing. Wait, let's take that back. Episode 1 to 25, you don't, you will get confused, but after that, it's great. And then the second half happened, and you're just like, writing,
there
where
were
are
some
you?
good episodes in the second half though.
Yeah, but the writing was still like,
Yeah,
the writing was more wrong for the other characters,
I'm gonna
not the
shamelessly
main
plug.
three.
I'm shamelessly plug my YouTube channel because I actually did a Saber 1 year later video, and I actually was like, yeah, no, this like after the show aired, I looked into a lot of the issues and with like different actors getting COVID, and then they tightened up a lot of the restrictions for filming, and they had to change a lot of story elements because
And
of a
that's
lot
when
of
you
the
saw
stuff.
more of the CGI happen, because like the base, like a lot of
Yeah,
that's when they was testing out a lot of things.
I will
Because
say
like
we got a lot
say,
of fire. We got a lot of fire suits in that season though.
yeah, oh, 100%.
Yeah, but yeah,
Let me see
all
your
right, we
blade.
went down.
Let me see your blade, bro. Let me see your blade. Ah,
Which blade?
yes, yes. Give me your blade can talk. Okay.
This one? That's the Garen buckle.
Well, one day, I think I'm gonna get myself. My friend just got the desire for 100 with everything.
Yeah, they were
I'm
doing the
saying,
bundle with the zombie buffalo
yeah,
and everything.
and he's at New York Comic Con. He's working it, so he bought it Friday. And I'm sitting there like, that's. Oh no, he bought it yesterday, and then today he was supposed to buy 01 for my friend, and they were supposed to get. I was like, yeah, tell me if they got something Sentai. I'll probably have to wait for next week, but give me that.
Obviously, if you can't get it through there, Ami Ami, Amazon Japan, they've been putting them on sale a lot lately.
Yeah, I know. I've been looking at some stuff. I gotta buy my Kuga DVD. I gotta support.
Yep, I got
I
mine.
already bought 01, but it wasn't for me. But I bought it for my friend. He was like, "I want it." Okay, $40. Go.
The Kuga Blu-ray, the looks so good. I was shocked by how good of the quality because I was like, that's an older show. It's 2001, you know, like that's that's a old. But I was like, it's looks so good
So
on Blu-ray.
damn. Which wait, Blade is older, right?
Blade's 2004
Oh, 2004. Damn. So why the graphics in Kuga looks better though?
because it's. Uh, I think there's not that much, and they didn't go really CG heavy like Blade was with all the special effects and the cards, so they had to use a lot more special effects.
True, true, true. They didn't do much, Besides, the only thing they ever did for him is turn his suit color change.
Yeah, that's real. That it
Yeah,
was give him a
that's
different weapon.
yeah, that's mostly it. Like, hey, what new color you doing today? We don't touch green. If y'all want to go away, don't make me turn green.
Right.
It was green and white. I think those were the. Was it white? I'm trying to remember. It was
Green,
green,
red, blue, and
red,
a
and then
purple.
purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the
And
worst
then
one
his
was
mighty form was just like more gold with the red.
yeah. But yeah, that's mostly it.
Well,
Me.
I thank you for coming on again. It's always great to sit down and talk extensively about Toku and conventions because not like when I want to talk conventions with people, like a lot of people go as like, buy a ticket, go walk around the snap, but it's always nice to have the experience in the stories from someone who worked at convention, had a booth, was mingling and this and that. But I don't want to end the podcast before I let you plug your social medias and your shop to everyone.
All right, cool. Just wanted to say thank y'all for watching. And this is your boy K20 Custom. You can find me on mostly everything: Facebook, Twitter, um, Instagram, your mom house, and on Twitch, all as K20 Custom. Mostly your mom house. Yeah,
We got to
but
get you. We got to get you to do some YouTube stuff.
I don't know if I could do it again.
Just take your. Well, you can't because of the music. I was like, oh, the Twitch VODs, but I'm like, no, the music wouldn't. You got to do like ad spots and like commercials for the patches.
That's why I'm doing the sponsor thing with people.
Yeah, I
So
know. See, I know Hockley's. I saw Hockley's
yes,
stream.
Hockley's one, and
Then was it Kaiju Carl? I think he tweeted a
yes,
clip from his stream.
but
I've been so
Tokudon.
busy, I haven't checked too much.
No, it's okay. Tokudon is the other one, and I have three more people that I want to definitely get it on board. You know, just some. It's one person that's just straight ultra, and then another person that's like so like nerd. Like he keeps saying his name like that. He's like his nerd name something. So these people I'm
There's
definitely
a lot of.
gonna put
Uh,
um on it. Like
no, he sounds like an original name.
yeah, it's like
Who would have thought to put those words in that order? It's weird.
yeah, a nerd. Just like name. And I was like Blink. I was like, who would do that? That would be cool. But
One
yeah,
day I'll tell you the story of how I actually rebranded and why, because it's such a long story.
we
It's
definitely
so
gonna have to
bad
do that.
too.
What we need to do is have a talk about some DC stuff in the future. We need to
Oh,
do that because did you hear about Static Shock Beyond?
oh yeah, no.
I need
So
it.
did you see that somehow I found at Target
What's
for
that? Bat?
Batman the animated series,
Oh,
but it's the poster from the show that lights up as a statue.
oh wow.
We were at Target and I saw it, and it was like $40, and I was like, you know what? Like, I want this. I've never seen this before, and I'm like, and then this the Static Shot, the Static Beyond, which I like the idea of an older Static kind of being present with Terry becoming Batman Beyond, and I was like, that's a crossover I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, definitely. I love the Batman Beyond story that came out like a year ago, 2 years ago. Shit, 3 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, they did that, and
No,
was it Future's End?
sorry, 5 years ago because that came out 2017. It's about 5 years ago. A lot of people don't know the rebirth, the whole rebirth story for DC started 2016. A
Wow,
lot of people don't know that.
that's
That's
I didn't know
something
it's been
for
that
you.
long.
Yeah,
That's around the time I stopped reading a lot of DC
I
stuff.
literally have I literally have every story that they did in my bins right now. Every story.
I got the trades. I stopped pulling the monthly issues. I waited for like trade paperbacks and graphic novel versions because one, it takes a lot of space, and two, I just don't pull a lot of DC stuff
Yeah,
anymore for
a lot of stuff
comics.
was a lot of stuff was hit and miss, but I have a lot of them signed. Um,
But now I got the Comixology via Amazon. They gave me that 30-day free trial. So I was like, oh, let me go in there and catch up on a lot of stuff.
like I have, I think the only ones I don't have is the milestone stuff. I'm not like I didn't touch none of them. But I
Oh,
know
like the 60th Robin and stuff like that. I got those ones,
but
but I didn't get the in
this
between.
this milestone the static beyond, that's something I'm grabbing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get that.
I didn't
I
get the
saw the
static
design. I like the
beyond,
design
but
too,
this design was just so good to make me go, yeah, I can take that. I can take
and
that.
I was gonna make the joke. I was like, you should probably cosplay that.
Look, I
Yeah,
did static
the
beyond.
coat.
I think I'm okay. I'm done.
You
I'm done
retired.
cosplaying.
Eh,
When I started working doing this, I stopped doing a lot of stuff because I couldn't do both. Because
no, you really can't.
I used to build my suits. I used to do armor suits. So I used to build. And I don't have time. I don't have to like make a table for just that for cutting fabric, not cutting fabric, cutting foam and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I hate working with EVA foam. It's a pain. I have half a saber helmet, and I was like, you know, I think a 3D printer or commission's a lot easier than this.
Yeah, call stick.
I know. We've already talked in the DMs about helmets, and I'm like, then I got another guy who's like, "Oh, you want the Blade King form?" I'm like, "I want it before Power Morphicon 2024." They're like, "That's doable." I'm like, I was like, "But I want the sword too." And they're like, "Yeah, King form. You need the sword." I'm like, "Okay."
I was talking to Stick about just giving me just make a build one without the face parts that I could just magnet put them on, and it just give me different versions. Just give
I
me different.
there's I'll
And
have to look up the cosplayer and I'll have to say like there. I know a cosplayer does
I
that.
saw the cosplay. I saw the
Oh, you
cosplay.
did? Okay, because I
Yes,
saw someone who did that with the
that's what
magnets.
motivated me. I was like, yo, if you can do that with regular foam stuff, oh my god.
That's what they did. They were using the little tiny magnets that most people do in the helmets now, so they clasp instead of the clasps, and they put the little tiny magnets with hot glue, and
Hmm.
that
And
was
he
it.
had to take off every part, like the plate parts that go on top and everything, and then change the colors. I was like, that's fire. I think he had ninja um comic shuriken. I think he had well, whatever. He killed it.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Let's end
Well,
it here before we start talking more.
yeah, I know it was good. That's another. That's a whole. That's another. See, more ideas for more episodes. But yeah, I thank you for coming on again. Like obviously, I was like a bit talking like it's goodbye. Like I'm not going to talk to you again. But yeah, thank you again. And yeah, that's it.